Good evening, everyone. It's Sam here with Sacred Oak Temple in Edmonton, Alberta. Today's full moon ritual is all about seeking vision. We're at the stage where we're just about ready to start having public meetings of our temple again and to restart our part of the local pagan community. And it's about time for us to clarify our vision, what we will be doing together, what directions we want to follow, and all that sort of thing. So today we're going to spend a little time just thinking about and talking about those options, the possibilities for directions. Sacred Oak Temple begins by respectfully acknowledging that we're located in Treaty 6 territory. Today, we connect ourselves to this place. We introduce ourselves to the goddesses and the gods of the Cree, the Dene, the Blackfoot, Saulteaux, Nakota Sioux, and the Métis peoples. We connect ourselves as well to that river, to this sky, to the wind that blows across the plain from the mountains. I offer tobacco now to the spirits of the land and ask for their help to be here and to belong. Now, as we prepare to enter sacred space, I'd like you all to take 3 deep breaths, hold them for a second, and then release. Get yourself comfortable and now take the first breath. With the first breath, we are here in our bodies. With the second breath, we can reach down to the earth and up to the sky. And with the third breath, we reach out to the others in our circle today and connect our energy to theirs. And now we're prepared to be in sacred space. As I say, this is a ritual for seeking vision. And I'll begin by casting the circle. You can follow along with me at home. This is a place that is not a place, in a time that is not a time, halfway between the worlds of gods and mortals. This is a place that is all places, in a time that is eternity, where gods and mortals can come together. This is a place that is our home. This is a time in our lives where we can be greater than we thought. And now to call the elements and ask for the presence of the gods. As I turn to each direction, I'd like you to do the same, of course, in your own homes. The east, which in my home is right behind me. As we breathe in the air, we gain the power to see. Let us call upon the god Mercury, god of communications, particularly as the god of commerce. Will we build a community that's centered on buying and selling spiritual goods and tools? Blessed be and welcome. And now to the south. As the fire warms us, we gain the power to take a chance. Let us call upon the goddess Athena, goddess of wisdom and knowledge. Will we build a community centered on knowing and teaching the mysteries? Blessed be, welcome. And now to the west. Water connects us and lets us feel what others feel and create a shared dream. Let us call upon the Queen of the May, the goddess of celebration and ritual. Will we build a community centered on joyful celebration and on play? Blessed be and welcome. And now the north. The earth gives us the material with which to act, and the strength and the foundation of understanding. Let us call upon Odin and Zeus, the gods of kings, rulers, and leaders. Will we build a community that's centered on strong leaders and supportive followers? Blessed be and welcome. And now to the center. The Spirit calls us to open our eyes and our hearts, to move us to act rightly in the world. Let us call upon the goddess Vesta, the goddess of hospitality and home. Will we build a community centered on welcoming strangers, on hospitality, and on service to one another? Blessed be and welcome. Today, we're coming together to seek a joint vision and a mission for our temple. We must start with the mission. Why are we doing this? What is the goal that we share? With no clear vision in the temple as to why, there's no reason to proceed, and no one will be moved to get involved. After the why, we can then ask who, what, when, where, and how. When we opened the circle just now and called the elements, we talked about 5 different directions and visions for building community. We could look to commerce, the craft fairs, the stores and events which have always been prominent in the Edmonton pagan scene and which have now got renewed life as the epidemic is waning. We could look deeply into the mysteries, into the occult and esoteric secrets, and explore deeper connection through high magic. We could celebrate the turning of the wheel. We could party and dance and gather in community purely for the joy of being together. We could find strong leaders and teachers and ask them to decide the direction for the community and find our joy in service to their visions. Or we could dedicate ourselves to building community in service to the needs of the lonely, the outcast, the marginalized, and build communities of care. These are all options, all open, live possibilities and options for trying to build community and to rebuild a public temple. We can find other ways to build community. We could combine all of these approaches. We can begin, of course, from theological agreement. We are polytheists who see the divine as female and male, as neither and both. We know that women and men, gay and straight, are all capable of embodying the divine and acting as clergy. That pleasure and the joys of life, their roots to the divine, and deeply meaningful, not delusions or blind alleys leading us away from understanding. That magic works, and on the underlying truths of this mystical path. These ideas are all worth engaging with, and all worth building an organization around. I'm just presenting you with options. I'm not trying to predetermine one way or the other, because we are starting brand new. The temple hasn't met in person for years, for about 4 years, and it's important that we know together what we want to do. Or we could decide, of course, to not build a religious community at all. That we could decide that there's really nothing distinct or worthwhile in Wicca. We could decide that building a community is just too much work and trouble, and we should just become Unitarians, or New Agers, or passive consumers of popular spiritual products online. Now, if we decide to build a temple, what should we do together? And when shall we start? After 3 years of online SBATs, I feel that it's time to restart in-person meetings. So take a moment now, please. Think of your vision. Think of the community that you want to belong to. Post something of it if you can in the comments section or contact me to join an in-person discussion as we move towards restarting. May the gods preserve the craft. And now, as one act that's central to any community, I'd like to bless food and drink and share it with you. Do the same with whoever's in your circle at home. It is not we who bless food and drink, but they which bless us, because in their nature they nourish our bodies, and in sharing food and drink we can create community. As we share food and drink together, we assume an obligation to each other, and an obligation to this larger community in which we live. An obligation to help other people out, to express love, to be open to being loved. No act of kindness is too small to make a difference. Have something to eat and something to drink now, and of course share food and drink with me and whoever's in your circle at home. Offer some of the food and drink to the gods and thank them for their presence. I'm also offering some frankincense, which is favored by a lot of the Greek and Roman gods. Thank you to the divine mysteries, to the goddesses and gods revealed and concealed in the workings of the world and in our lives. Thank you to Vesta for the joys of hearth and home. We receive the blessings of the Spirit. Thank you to Odin and Zeus for clear direction and the power of effective leadership. We close the door of the north with thanks to the earth. Thank you to the beautiful and carefree Queen of the May for playful celebration. We close the door of the west now with thanks to the water. Thank you to Athena of the steely intellect for thought and depth of exploration. We close the door of the south now with thanks to the fire. Thank you to Mercury for exchange and money and communication. We close the door of the east with thanks to the air. Whatever we decide, however these discussions continue, we will support each other, we will go on together, and we will build a community. By the power of 3 times 3, as we say it, so mote it be, so mote it be, so mote it be. And now to ground before leaving the circle. Take a deep breath, hold it, and now release it. And do it again. In, release. As the sun rises in the morning and the world is covered in light, so that we may see where we are and where we are going, in the same way, the heart, the mind, and the soul open up, and we reach for the light of understanding as we connect to the infinite, which is reflected in each other. Take a deep breath, release, and another. This circle is open but unbroken. merry meet, and merry part, and merry meet again. Dear friends, although we intend to begin meeting in person again, we haven't set a firm date for that. There will be an in-person meeting to plan for that coming up soon, probably within the next few weeks. Please contact me to be invited to it. And put any comments that you have in the comments section, or contact me personally if you have ideas you'd like to share. However, we will continue to offer new and full moon rites online. The next new moon rite will be on the 20th of April at 7 p.m. and I'll see you then. Blessed be.